So, people, we are live. We are live today on the Pan African Daily TV with our exclusive guest live from the continent, from the kingdom of Embo, who is here to address us on the need for Africans to stay loyal to the continent and its development. So we have here with us a special address of His Imperial Royal Highness, His Majesty King Bugane III of the Embo Kingdom of the South, of South Africa and the Abantu Kingdoms, who is actually here to continue to address, citizens at home and abroad on the need for us to stay loyal to the continent and its diaspora, and for us to keep close contact with our ancestral roots, be you in the Caribbean, in America, in Europe. It is very essential that we keep stay focused to the development on the continent. So let us welcome His Imperial.
After centuries of misguidance caused by slavery, colonization, lack of awareness of our history, and institutional disinformation, a new Africa is on the move, determined and getting organized. Afrika tuko pamoja. Welcome to the United Kingdoms of Great Africa. The United Kingdoms of Great Africa is the cradle of the alliance movement of all African intelligences around a common ideal, the unity and development of a strong, conquering and completely dedogmatized Africa through the channel of a strong organization called the Africa We Want Global. You are an African, Afro-descendant, researcher, historian, scientist, or simply an NGO. You want to be part of this great historical march towards the total freedom of an uninhibited Africa? Visit our website www.africawewantglobal.org. Register and discover the range of our platforms for change. AfricaWeWantGlobal.org. Join the kingdom, be part of it. An initiative of Dr. Susan Tata.
So, welcome everyone. We salute you to this special and exclusive edition with His Royal Highness, His Majesty, Dr. King Bugane III of the Embo Kingdom. The Embo Kingdom we know is the seed and the origins of the Abantu people, today known as Egypt or known as Kemet. But we all know that we are all seed and one ancestral connections that binds us together. It has been a while that we have our king here with us, and tonight we want to get updates of the Kingdom of Embo, happenings around the world and on the continent, and also to get his special 2022 end of year address to his citizens out on the continent and in the diaspora. So you're welcome, My Majesty.
Bayete, my queen, how are you?
Thank you so much. My king, it's been a while, and your kingdom has been feathering in a very positive way. I am first of all thanking you for making me the queen and daughter and princess of Embo Kingdom.
You look so beautiful also.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, my king. So yes, what has been happening in the kingdom, my king?
Thank you very much. I want to first greet the chosen people of the continent and the first people who were created by the Creator. And I would also want to pass my greetings to all the people in the Caribbean, that is our people in the Caribbean. And I would love to say, I love you, I love you, I love you so much. Thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to apologize for not being, on the show for quite a long time because we are busy working. Even tomorrow, I'll be meeting Chief McPherson. A lot of people don't know that he's here in South Africa. We've been up and down. He's been to the palace. He spent some nights in the palace in Mpumalanga. we've been working together, meeting the chiefs in different regions for us to talk about the LUMI and what will be the progress of the LUMI. So what we have done so far is that we are at the level where the LUMI, it is now a currency that can be used, you know, at the global space. So tomorrow we're going to have a meeting around about 1 South African time with a company that is going to be making sure that it puts everything into place to make sure that LUMI, it is accessible and it is usable in terms of the currency and to be exchanged with the other currency, especially the South African currency. And you can also use it to buy whatever other items. Two, the LUMI, as we have put it into the level, it is no more like what we would call it a cryptocurrency. It is now a currency that can be used. So this is how far we have gone. The second one is that we've been having workshops because a lot of chiefs were coronated. So we've been working very hard in making sure that there are a lot of chiefs that are coronated and the headmen, because the kingdom is growing day by day. And you would laugh at this. We also have chiefs from the side of the female, because communities and clans, they would put up, in terms of their lineage, a woman to become the chief in their community. It has never happened in many years, but today we've got such chiefs who are women who are leading as mothers in their communities. We've coronated them. So we've been working so hard. And the other point that I want to raise is that we are now at the final stage together with Chief McPherson, with Chief Stephen, to make sure that we make United Kingdoms of Africa to be practically, in terms of it becoming a you know, what we call a state of the African diaspora, so that the you know, the UKA has what we call the president, has what we call, you know, the cabinet in terms of making it workable and feasible. So we then agreed that the currency of UKA would be officially called the kingdom currency, that is the LUMI. So we've been working behind the scenes. We've been meeting with other chiefs, and the launching of the parliament. We've been doing all those things. It has not been a smooth ride for me. We've been up and down, not sleeping. Even today, we were having the workshop since from the morning. If it was not because of you, I wouldn't agree to be in the show, because since from 9 o'clock in the morning South African time, we just finished our workshop now at 18:30 South African time. So I have not rested a lot, but we've been working very hard. Bayete.
Bayete, my king, thank you so very much. It's so heartwarming to hear and to know that we have a leadership, we have kings and queens that are working in the interest of a united kingdom of great Africa. Because sometimes we just don't know. We are not informed. There is not a single government or a single body or an organization that takes responsibility to communicate even the different projects that are going on in the different communities. And that's why Pan-African Daily TV, we are so humbled and happy to be that platform, to be able to share our voices and to give our young people, whether in the South, in the North, in the Central, in the West, in the East of Africa, the possibility to go back to our structures of royalty. We only understand that this kind of development, this kind of instrument, this kind of structures can only be laid down by our royals when we go back to our pre-colonial history of who we were before the colonizers colonized Africa. So we are thanking you so very much, His Royal Majesty, for coming to address us on this. So the other thing, we have seen that this at this particular time, Africans need a single passport. We need a single currency. We need a single language. Thankfully, we have had to get the African Union adopt the Swahili language, and then we need a single a single nation, as a one continent, which we have the UKA that is working on that. Do you see LUMI as a possibility when we expand the United Kingdoms of Great Africa to be the single currency that would address the need of one Africa, one currency?
Thank you very much, my queen. You know, I have to give credits to Chief McPherson and together with Chief Stevens. They've been working tirelessly to make sure that the LUMI, it is acceptable in the continent and also in the diaspora. You know, just in November, they were in Botswana, so they go all over. They've been in Swaziland. You know, I remember last year they were in Swaziland. They even spent some Christmas at the palace in Mpumalanga, because in Mpumalanga it is not far from Swaziland. It's about 2 hours drive from Swaziland. So they came to spend some Christmas with me. But they've been there because they were talking to what we call this Southern African, you know, what we call SADC body.
Yes.
That must accept the currency, because if SADC is the one that accepts the currency and the ECOWAS, then the currency would be then accepted and be used by these countries. But if you are going to be talking to country, they might not agree. But they then came up with a strategy to say SADC must be approached. But then SADC said to them, you know, you are talking about an African currency, but the currency that is not in the continent. So they then set up an office and headquarters of the LUMI currency in Swaziland. So that's very important. And then what they did is that they started talking to SADC and different governments. But also what is key is that in their findings, they then decided to have a different approach, because the governments, you must not forget that the governments in the continent, these are the creation of the very same colonialists, because these are you know, what we call an extension of the colonialists. So whoever that is in government will be extending whatever the colonialists did. Practical example, we've got what we call the Afro or what we call the Lusophones, and then the Saxon phone, whatever that you want to call it. But these are people who are paying their allegiance to their colonial master. In South Africa today, if a president has to be inaugurated, that president must go and pay a visit to the crown of England. And that country, like South Africa, must be a member of the Commonwealth. So you can't come to me and tell me that a country that we are saying it has been fighting for its independence, and then it happens to be a member of the Commonwealth. To me, it's just a waste of time. Two, we can't have a president of what we call a democratic South Africa or a democratic country be going and paying an allegiance, having dinner with King Charles or whatever, Prince Charles, whatever his name, and then you have somebody that says we are for the people. It does not work like that. So what we then decided, together with Chief McPherson and Chief Stevenson, is that why don't we then consult with the kingdoms of the continent and the chiefdoms, so that they then use the amongst themselves and start trading amongst themselves with this LUMI. That's why we then said, because if we are going to be talking to these governments, they will be putting obstacles to make sure that it does not work. I'll make a practical example. In South Africa, the Reserve Bank of South Africa, it is privately owned. And then when you look at it as a privately owned, it is linked with the Rothschilds. If something is linked with the Rothschilds, they're not going to allow something like a LUMI to be accessible and to be the one that becomes, you know, a currency that is used by kingdoms and it is used by the government. Because if you look at the South African currency, the South African currency, it is a fiat currency that it is not backed by any commodities. Mind you, with all the commodities that you find in South Africa, be it gold, be it platinum, be it diamonds, gold, whatever that you want to call it, but they don't work in becoming a commodity that is supporting the current currency that is called the rand. The rand is not supported by anything. Then when you look at the LUMI, it is supported by gold and also by wind in terms of energy. Then when you equate it in terms of the US dollar, LUMI becomes 15.9 to the US dollar. So they will never allow that to happen in this country and other countries in the continent. We'll talk about the Francophone countries. They are still paying allegiance to their colonial master. So we then took a decision to say, whilst we're talking to them, let us coexist with this currency where we've got kingdoms coming together, then using the currency as the kingdom currency. So we've been successful in achieving that. And then tomorrow at 1 o'clock, there's going to be a company that I'm not going to talk about it now. It is going to be making sure that LUMI, it is accessible and it is used by all the kingdoms and the chiefdoms. And then what we are saying as kingdoms, especially in South Africa, we are now pronouncing to say we do not want to be under any colonial government because the colonialists never consulted with the kingdoms. And then whoever that claims to be fighting for freedom and saying we have freed our people, they're still continuing with the laws of the Westminster government of England. And therefore, they never got a mandate from the kings and the chiefs because the land belongs to the chiefs. The minerals underneath, they belongs to the kings and the chiefs. So they never consulted with us. Whatever arrangements that they have with their colonial master, it does not bind us. So we're going to be pronouncing very soon where we're going to be declaring that we as the kings, we are taking our land and we are establishing our own governments that are going to be officially using the kingdom currency that is called the LUMI. And we're going to be uniting with other kingdoms in the continent because that is our clarion call now to say, let us go out and totally disassociate ourselves from these governments because these governments are governments that are still upholding the rule of law of the former colonialists, or we'll just put it that the colonialists, because the colonialists, they still exist because they still control. You would see what has happened during the time of the inauguration or the coronation of the Zulu king. Who was in charge during the coronation of the Zulu king? It was the British church. It was the British that were putting the ring to the king of the Zulus. It simply tells you to say that establishment is still under colonial establishment. So we are saying we want to be totally detached from any colonial attachment.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Congratulations. At least some very good news, some very positive news coming from the continent, from our royals. And we truly appreciate you. We know it's not a walk in the park, but we know it's our time and we believe in it. And of course, because that power when the colonialists came was taken from the kings, like you said. We didn't have this kind of European governance on the continent in a pre-colonial African time. So it is just but normal, my Imperial Majesty, that you take over the responsibility, because it never even was stated anywhere that they worked with the kings together. So I think, or do you think this is something that has been lacking, or that we never thought about it? And you see even the normal colonial governments or extensions still going to try and woo and get some of the royals to become politicians. So probably it's something that it's been long due. And like we say, it is the time of the awakening, it's the time of the African to reclaim what truly belongs to him, and the kings and our kingdoms take back our land, and so that we can at least even start by feeding ourselves and stop selling peace politics, hope politics, developmental politics, and something that has never changed the African in any way or before. So my king, what is the next procedure? I mean, they are already on the continent. I saw the official launch of that currency, and we announced it here, and it was actually huge. So at least it is real. It's not something like thinking it would, but it's already happening. It has already happened, isn't it?
It's true. It's absolutely, because you know, when you say it's a cryptocurrency, you are joking, because this is a hardcore currency. And what I would update you, I would send you letters that were sent to the Bank of England to inform them that from this particular day, this particular currency will be working. And then also the body that regulates currency, the letter has been sent to them. So this is not a joke. And what we are now working into establishing, it is what we call the Development Bank of Embo. Because why do we talk about the Development Bank of Embo? This is where we'll be financing infrastructural development, especially in the continent. Let me tell you what the decision that we have taken is that we are not going to be finding ourselves in the squabble like people who are not educated. We have sat down and took a decision to say we are going to use the same strategy that was used by the Swazis. You know, when I was listening to a story, when my grandfather was telling me how Swaziland was able to come as a country, what they did was that they raised money and they gave each an individual to buy portions of land, so that a title deed must be granted to these individuals. These individuals were loyal people that were understanding to say they're not buying these portions of land for themselves, but they are buying these portions of land for the people of Swaziland. And then what they did is that they then put it together and owning a title deed into one. And then they confronted the British to say, this land does no longer belong to you. It belongs to the people of Swaziland. And therefore we are demanding our independence as the Swatis. But the mistake that they did, what my grandfather said, they then mistake that they did was to be wanting to be under the control of the British protectorate, because they were afraid of the Republicans, that is the Afrikaners, that the Boers, that they will be attacking them. They wanted the protection of the British. But in the current situation, we don't have such things. We are now sitting with the white farmers, because the white farmers, what they are doing in South Africa today, you'll be shocked. They are no more dealing with the issue of the food security. What they are dealing now is that they are mining in every land, especially in Mpumalanga. If you go to Mpumalanga, there's a lot of coal. Now, when you pass by in every farm, you'd see there's a mining project, a mining development, meaning they no longer care about farming these people. So we are saying together with Chief McPherson, together with Chief Stevenson, together with Embo, we are saying, let us bring ourselves down and make ourselves fools and go and confront these Boers and say, we are putting a purchase price for these particular farms. Then we are buying them because they have the title deed. In terms of the international law, in terms of the United Nations, they recognize that. So let's play our game. Let's buy every land so that we create what we call the United Kingdoms of Africa government in those portions of land. That's what we are doing. Bayete.
Bayete, my king. Bayete, Bayete, Bayete. This is awakening. This is strong. This is deep. And for those of you that are just joining us in the conversation now, we are talking to His Imperial Majesty King Bugane III of the Embo Kingdom, who is actually here to update us of the current situation on the continent, whom in the leadership, in cooperation with the other kings, are coming up exactly to address the question of one currency and the ownership of the land of Africa. And we had been talking about this issue since 2010, 2000, even before. But once we launched the Pan-African Daily TV, this is the voices that was coming here. We need a one land policy to take back the lands from those that are controlling those lands now. Number two, to get a currency that would back agriculture, you know, and our process and our procedures, and to officially declare to those that were owning those lands the need that we are reclaiming or taking back just what belongs to our forefathers or to our ancestors. Be it that there's going to be any negotiation in any form, those are things that would come. But you are actually coming here now to tell us exactly, you have addressed the concerns and the voices of the children in the diaspora on the continent for the need of a one passport, a one currency. For now, we are sticking to owning the land. Issues of passport, borderless, one language, those are simple issues that we would address them once we own a land, once we own our minerals, once we own our system, once we own our education, language, every other thing would follow. So if you're joining us, this is the conversation that we are on. His Imperial Majesty, Dr. King Bugane III is here to address us and to give us important updates on the continent and its diaspora. So my king, what would you want the diaspora to know? I know you've said it a couple of times. We have to stay faithful, loyal, pledge our loyalty to motherland Africa. For any initiative to work, it takes a united spirit to push it through.
Bayete, you know, we have decided to play the game of the colonialists. And I think we're going to play it better than them now. What do I mean by saying that? Remember, for the United Nations to recognize you as a government, as a country, you must have the land. Then what we have decided is that let's buy all the land. Let's use the currency to buy all the land for them to give us a country code. And this country code is going to be a country of the diaspora. That's very critical. It's going to be a country of the diaspora where they are going to be in that country code. When you got a country code, then you can be issued a code for the passport. Now, this is where we are playing the game now. Mm-hmm. This is what we are doing now. We are playing the game according to them, but let me tell you, we are going to be the victors in that game because we are talking to people who are desperate. And who are the people that are desperate? Are the very same people who stole our land. The Afrikaners stole our land. We know that. But if we're going to be always preaching, always talking about what they did, these people, what they did when they stole our land, they pronounce according to their law. to protect them so that it becomes legal for what they've done. So what we are doing, we are playing the legal game so that we buy the land that they've stolen from us. Why do we have to buy it? Because we know that they're desperate. They are afraid of Julius Malema. They are afraid of the Economic Freedom Front. So fighters. So we are saying, let's buy the land. And the quicker we buy the land, we consolidate a country that is going to be called the United Kingdoms of Africa, with the country code, with the passport code, and then the diaspora will be coming to that. And we've already started doing that. That's what we are busy doing. Bayete.
Bayete, my king, Bayete. Exactly. I mean, who are the chosen and who are the most blessed children of the universe of humanity? Of course, we do understand humanity all came from Africa. So it's not even a matter, it's a matter of the spirit of who is identified as an African and fight and is in the process of supporting the development of a continent that has been robbed, has been broken, has been maimed, has been tamed. Until today, every other nation has been compensated or raised except from the Africans. And today we can shout reparations or whatever thing. But our leaders just took upon themselves to say, you know what? There is no need for us to continue to say, yes, it do belongs to us. But if the Boers, the Dutch, the Europeans are claiming that they did a lot of investments in Africa. Oh, yes, we tilled those lands. We constructed. We put investment there. We don't even have a home called our own. So we have a space here. So it's just but normal, noble, professional, and even so smart for our kings to sit and say, you know what? We are not also greedy. Of course, it belongs to us. But if they took our things just like they took our artifacts, and now they're telling us that they've kept that artifacts, they have kept it for us, and that we even need to pay, you know, for keeping what they stole from us, in the sense that we will not even be able to safeguard it and to keep it. And the question always goes back like, how did you have the interest to steal these properties if they were not really safeguarded and well catered for? Give it to us. We would decide, we would figure out what we want to do with it. It should be none of your business what we do with it, whether we're going to destroy it, whether they look how. It is my property. Give it back to me. The time you came to steal it was because it was in a good state. Otherwise, you would not have taken it. That's the opinion of Africans and the voices of Africans articulating. And so we want to applaud this massive move. I know I missed the opportunity to get the other kings, your collaborator and your compatriot on the show. Do you think it would be possible for me to have the three of you, or one each on a session, to actually break it down from the point that you're telling us again? Over to you, Bayete.
On Monday, Chief McPherson, Chief Stevens, Stephen, they will be flying out of South Africa, but tomorrow they will be coming to come and meet with me before as a goodbye, you know, because we've been up and down. They've been up and down also. So tomorrow they'll be coming to me. I'll try my best. I don't know if they are here. We could just have a WhatsApp call, and then maybe a video. You can record it, then you can play it later. I'll try my best if we can do that. Yeah.
It will be a great honor. Yes, we will do a recording. I mean, just to get their
I'll try my
voices,
best.
get to also be Bayete, my king, Bayete. Now, I know that there were projects that we were supposed to do this year, or even before, when COVID interrupted, like you doing, I mean, the normal rituals of the cleansing, and even meeting our children in the diaspora, in the Caribbean, in the Americas, in Europe and stuff, or putting the different representatives that are in charge of that. How far has this project gone, Your Majesty? Bayete.
We had a discussion during, I think it's about 2-3 weeks ago or 4 weeks. We had a discussion with Chief McPherson and Chief Stephen. They were raising a concern to say our people in the diaspora wants to come back, and when they come back, they want to, undergo the cleansing ceremony. Now the question is how it's going to be done. So we then agreed to say the only place that can be done, it's in Mpumalanga, where the policy is, because the river, cleansing ceremonies are done at the flowing river, because you have to detach everything that is not right. It must flow with the river and go away. So we agreed that it must be done at the policy, because the policy has a river. Okay, the palace is covered with 2 rivers. The palace is just in the middle of 2 rivers. It's the same river, but somewhere it goes apart, but it meets again. So we will do that cleansing ceremony for all our children in the diaspora. What will happen is that there will be procedures that will be put into place, but they will arrive in Johannesburg and be taken by car or by bus. It depends how many they are, onto the palace, and they must learn the culture and the tradition, because what needs to happen is that when we do the cleansing, it's in 3 folds. One, you have to break that bondage of our people be taken to slavery. We need to cleanse that. The second one is to cleanse whatever demonic spirits or whatever spirit that need to be removed from your body. The third one is to cleanse your ancestors from day 1 to the last day when you are standing at the river. So we do that. And then from there, we need to give you a new identity, a new name, so that you no longer attached to the previous colonial names. So it happens that way. And then what happens is that, what we like, what happens at the palace is that when you sleep at the palace, it's a divine space. It's a divine space. As I said several times, we are visited by spaceships there. It's something very unusual. And then we have, not far from the river, the other side of the river, there are 3 points where, I don't know what you call it, but there's the mother of the snake of the river leaves. So she comes at night at the palace to come and greet whoever that is there. No harming, nothing, but it comes and pass the regards and whatever. A lot of people have experienced that. They've experienced Chief McPherson, they've experienced that, because they've already been cleansed. They've already undergone the cleansing. So they're 100% now. So they've been there. I'll share with you the videos when they were, at one of the section where we are still building the palace. We met there. I'll show you the videos, what has happened there. And you'll see how Chief McPherson, using the African horn, how he was dressed up like, Swati regalia, how happy he was after the cleansing. So it is done at the palace. All our children in the diaspora would have to do that, because it's very important and it's compulsory for them to reconnect with their ancestors. Bayete.
Bayete, my king, Bayete. I mean, we thank the Most High, we thank the Creator, we thank the God of our ancestors, we thank the universe for making it, keeping their promises, their promise that from the time of creation was decreed upon us, and us in relationship with them taking that contract to come also in the space to be able to carry our mission in different formats. So I want to thank all of you that are watching and listening, and your comments are being taken into consideration, even if I didn't officially throw back at you. We have His Majesty King Mbongane III here. So we are in the presence of our royals, who is giving us some very important information. So when he talks about cleansing, we know that you in the diaspora or on the continent, we've been going through a lot of, spiritual connections, whether it is through drugs or taking some kind of herbs, or even going into other foreign cultures and try to practice their way of meditation, detoxification, cleansing, all sort of things. My king, wasn't it given upon us as the first creation of the world, our way in which we do our cleansing, our detoxing, our connection, our bondage to our forefathers, to our ancestors, to the Creator, to the Most High? Didn't we, or weren't we given that privilege to own one?
If I heard you very well, I also do that ritual also. Also do it. Now, the ritual is very important, because when you do it in the middle of the river. You do it at night, not during the day. Then when you are in that process, as you are pouring water onto yourself, naked as you are facing the east. Then what happens is, men do that, women do that. When a woman goes to the river to do that, women will flank the other person who's in the middle of the river, standing on top of the stone. Now, what happened, let me tell you something that will make you laugh. People would be asked, what language would you prefer to speak as we are cleansing? Some will say, I prefer to speak English. Some will say, I prefer to speak Zulu, whatever. But immediately when they hold that calabash, English does not exist anymore. Zulu does not exist anymore. Language that is spoken, it's very foreign. When you ask that person, what is it that you were saying? He says, I don't know. I felt that I must speak this language. And then, it is like a baby. When a child is trying to speak, speaks something that you don't understand, but you see this child speaking to you. So that is the language, we always say, yes, we talk about Kiswahili, but the question is, when you are cleansing, there's a foreign language that is spoken that we all don't know. And it is very funny because older men, older women, when they are cleansing, when they're speaking, if I'll just make an example, you would hear them, you ask them, what were you saying? Said, I don't know. I just felt that I must speak that language. But after that, they
Oh no, this must work. Okay. Yes. He would be back. It's the house is hot. The spirits are all here. Can you hear me out there? Or am I freezing as well? And I really love some of the questions that you are dropping in the chat, particularly the brother from the continent, or is a sister who said, yes, the cleansing is most often referred to the diaspora. What about us on the continent? Do the children of Ntu don't need cleansing as well? Because we should not forget that as we were adopted from our motherland, those on the motherland were actually also recolonize. And so it is very, very necessary for us to understand. And I hope His Imperial Majesty will be coming back here to give us a glimpse of what it will look like for me as a queen of the Embo Kingdom, as Queen of Africa, that all of us are. I think we all need cleansing. The spiritual healing of our souls, of our mentals, of all the burdens, of all the toxic in terms of what set of mindset, educations and systems that we've adopted. We all need a total cleansing and detoxification. We all need to go to Mother Africa River and we all bathe ourselves and get that spiritual cleansing. I don't think it can be different. I don't think it should be different. I think it is the right of any African child, be it at home and abroad, to have access to this healing. Yes, of course, we need to be reborn again to be able to know who we are so that we can pledge our allegiance to motherland, so that we can recognize ourselves again. We can shout and dance and run and swim and fish in that river that would be everlasting and flowing with love, peace, and joy and blessings and abundance that was accorded to us by the Most High. Just like He created all of us, that is the point, that is the message, that is the rite of passation. So He has been taken away from us. I believe the message was too hard, and that message is not given at any time in point. So yes, you just have to understand, like children of the kingdom, like children of Ntu, like children of the Bantu that we are, like queens and daughters and kings and princes, right? You know what it is. You know what it's all about. You know what our unity, you know what our connectivity, you know what a melting together brings. It brings a shaking on the whole continent. It spits out fire. It's a total rebirth, not just of a nation of people, but of the entire universe. So it's about cleansing even our environments, our rivers, our trees, our land, our forest, our everything that was meant to be, just like the Most High had decreed it. So yes, it is time. It is our time. It is our precious time. I want to thank you so very much. In case, as I can see, we will not be able to have His Imperial Royal Majesty here with us, the message has been passed to you. A new nation has been born, was born ago. And this new nation, just like it was prophesied in Exodus, that it is the time for us to go back home, until all the children would gather back to where they belong. So it is time. And we know it, and we see that Exodus. There is nothing that is a coincidence. There is nothing to be afraid of. There is nothing to worry about. The only thing that maybe would make sense to us is for us to extensively and intentionally begin to embrace our Ubuntu-ness and to educate one another, particularly our young brains that are being robbed out of the country to leave their continent and to become slaves in other lands. It is over. It is over. It is over. Even the God, our creation, had decreed it. It is over. That time is gone. So we are happy, and I'm truly happy to have you here in this congregation today. And you have heard the peaceful message. You have heard that a new kingdom, the United Kingdom of Great Africa, has been born, and its baby, which is the LUMI Currency, being established as we speak in the nations of the southern kingdoms, to be spread in the eastern, northern, western kingdoms, is about time. I already told you, as a messenger and a queen of the continent, who is a facilitator from my royals to you in the diaspora and also on the continent and wherever we're listening from, It is time for you to get your acts together. Prepare, for the moment has arrived. Yes, prepare, for the moment has arrived. Don't wait. The trumpet is sounding very, very loud. And it was said unto us, by the time you hear the trumpet, you know it is the time. Most of us are still thinking that that trumpet would be symbolically stood. But this is the trumpet. This is the trumpet. And we believe the Pan-African Daily is that mountain where all our Most High, our royals, our people, humanity, nature is sounding a clear message that it is time for us to go back home. It is time for us to build Mother Africa. It is time to build the continent that breastfeeds humanity to what it is today. And you are the chosen on this mission to be a part of this journey. Bayete, my king. Bayete, my king. Thank you for being back here with us. Yes. I was just interceding on your behalf, but now that you're here, there was a question from the continent whom they're asking. This cleansing has to be an obligation for every other person, citizens on the continent and abroad, not just for the diasporans. What do you have to say about that? Can you hear me?
But as I said, I also do it. You know, it is, we live in a world where, you know, the environment is not clean 100%, and the environment, we've got different demonic spirits, whatever. So, you know, if you don't cleanse yourself, you find yourself in the blockage for things that, you know, for example, spiritually, if you are to connect with your ancestors, you connect with the divine spirit, people, they use witchcraft to block you. So this cleansing, it actually oftenly assists you to remove those bad omen, bad spirits, demonic spirits, for you to be in constant contact with the divine spirit and with your ancestors. So any person can do it, be it a child. You know, I will make you laugh. There is a young boy, I think he's about 7 years. So what used to happen, this boy had a problem of sleeping at night. So the parents brought this young boy to me to be cleansed. So we did that because that's the ritual that happens at night. So as we were cleansing this young boy with only number one, because it's number 1, 2, 3. We just did this young boy with only number 1. He speaks English, this young boy. He cannot speak another language except English. As they were pouring this water to cleanse him, for this bad spirits to happen to him, he was saying, "Daddy, why are you pouring me with scent?" You know, he was like saying, "There's scent in this water." And then as they were pouring water, he started speaking a different language. And he was keeping on saying, but now the boy is like perfect. You know, he does. I was with him on Thursday because the parents invited me to their home. So the first thing when he saw me, I said to him, "Why are you not visiting me?" He said, "Grandpa," he calls me like, he says, "Grandpa, on one condition I'll visit you, as long as you don't pour me with the water again." I said, "I'm not going to pour you again." He says, "Then I'll come to your house." but this cleansing is for everybody. It's for everybody. So, and it assists. I'll tell you, you know, of an experience with my son, you know, I once shared, you know, a bedroom with my son. We usually do that in Pumalanga at the palace. You know, he would say, no, I don't want to sleep in another room, I want to sleep with you. So I noticed something, that he jumps at night, you know, like something is attacking him. We took him to do the ritual. It does not happen to him anymore. The guy is free from that. So I'm saying it is something that today you find our people in the diaspora shooting each other, becoming drug addicts. You'd find that these are the demonic spirits that are haunting our children, that you find sleeping in the corners as hobos. So if they cleanse, so those negative spirits would be removed from them by it.
Ayeta, my king. Yes, yes. Because we know it is not normal. Of course, everything is a toxic thing, from the mind, from the education, from the systems, from environment, from what we eat, from what we breathe, from what we hear, from what we listen to, who we hang out with. It's a whole spiritual thing. And everything that is happening, that's why we, at sometimes, I remember the last conversation we had, we said, even our people in the prisons has become the biggest sector in terms of business, and our people are always the one that would have to pay the fortune for some people to get privileges or get comfortable. So the opinions and the messages that you're pouring out here is very, very deep, and we want to thank you, and we salute and congratulate you. So what is the last message, my king? I know you're busy, like you said. I know it really was because of the love of us for you to spare this time to come and talk to us. Give us your last word and what we need to take back home with us. Bayete.
Mine would be, if you allow me in the next talk discussion, please, can we talk about the spiritual currency? If you allow me next time, so that I would be able to talk about it and explain the spiritual currency to our people. Maybe it will change their thinking, and then it will make them to understand why it is important that they understand spiritual currency in terms of divinity. If you allow me to do that next time, I don't know when it's going to be, but on Thursday, I'm going back to the other province where the policy is. I'll be taking almost a week, and then I'll be coming back. I'll be leaving on Thursday, coming back on Thursday again is 1 week. So if maybe we can do it on the weekend again, that would be wonderful. Let's, not this coming week, maybe the other week, maybe let's talk about this divine currency, what we call a spiritual currency. It will assist.
Ooh, okay, fine. I think it's done. It's set. He's kicked out. That's fine. We are going to, in accordance, on an agreement with all of us, invite His Majesty to aid us, to inform us about the spiritual currency. All right. So I guess we got it. We all agree to it, because everything that we all agree in unison, it's not me that has to give that access. I'm only representing all of us that are here. And then, so we have agreed that we would have him to educate us again, as you know, on the spiritual currency. Very important, I think, very relevant, particularly now as we're ending, you know, this Gregorian calendar year out here. I just wish that he would bless us before he finally leaves. Okay. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to our most great highest. Yes. Bayete, my king. Go ahead. We have agreed. Do you think it's possible next Saturday or the Saturday after that? This coming Saturday. Can we do it same
I was
time?
saying yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Bayete,
Yeah, after this coming Saturday, then I'll be back in Johannesburg. No, this coming Saturday. Yeah, the next Saturday.
Okay. All right. After the coming Saturday, the other one, Saturday in 2 weeks.
The next Saturday. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bayete, my king. Greetings to the palace. Greetings to everyone, and our regards to everyone on the continent. God bless you. Peace and blessings. Bayete. Bayete. Good. Thank you so much, my people. We've come to the end of this session, and make it a date with us tomorrow with the gospel according to Yeshua Maponga III. We're going to get into the 6th edition of that Pan-African congregational gathering from us to us. So make it a date, same time tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard, or just click your notification buttons and you'll be able to get into the session. We are rounding up the year of the world, whom most people call it the Christmas period. And so, yes, this period is a period where, you know, people just lay down, they meet together, families. But, you know, in our African spirituality, it's a continuity. We don't have a special day where we gather to celebrate and to give thanks. We give thanks every day. We celebrate every day. But of course, there are periods where we remember certain events. And so for all of you that are celebrating or coming to this end of year, we are also, you know, transiting into the next year, and we want to focus more on our progress, how we grow, our growth, our, like we said already, how we accumulate wealth. And we've already heard it. Our lands are going to be bought. Our currency is coming into action. And those of us that have already packed our bags, I see my sister Patricia Martin said, I have my bag already packed over. And so, like he said, there will be a cleansing, a rebirth, and a new name. Remember, it was the same process when we were taken out of our land and brought into the foreign lands. They were also a process of, you know, reinitiation, what we call, you know, assimilation into these countries, and were given other names to whom will be recognized. So it's just but a normal process of just undoing decolonization in its practical forms. What we as a people, it is not a language that people go and research and write books. African Daily TV is the living language, is the living book with the living different authors that are coming here to just tell us the tips and what is need to be done, not just to read it, but just to do it. So we thank you so very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for contributing. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure you have shared. Make sure you have clicked your notification button. And really, I want to thank all of you that have been subscribing as we are about to hit by the end of December 100,000 subscribers. We made a promise and we would deliver. Thank you so very much. Peace and blessings to you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your family moment. And we see ourselves again here tomorrow. Continue to subscribe. Continue to share the good message. Today, we had on the show, for those of you who came late, I just shared the flyer again for you to see King Bugane III of Embo Kingdom. I don't know why we're not having the flyer up here with us, but that's okay. So we see us tomorrow, people. Thank you. Peace and blessings. You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.